this is the best looking microphone that I've used. So Maono have sent out this microphone for me to test and review, but everything I do say is my personal opinion. They haven't told me to say any of this, and I'm going to be talking about everything I like and dislike about this microphone. So firstly is the price. Now this microphone is a great price. It's $60, which is £45, which is in my opinion amazing for a microphone like this. I'm using it right now to speak into, and as you can probably tell, it sounds really good. It's a plug and play microphone, so it's got USB-C connection or XLR. I'm using it with XLR right now, but I do use it with the USB later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. But the first thing we're going to talk about is how it actually looks. So firstly is the obvious. It's got RGB, but it actually looks amazing. I do know that some people might prefer a bit more of a casual look for their microphones, but if you do have a setup with RGB and you do like it, this microphone is perfect. It's got like a transparent coating, so it's actually not too obvious when it's off as well that it does have RGB, but obviously when it's on, the RGB shines very brightly. It looks amazing, and it just adds a lot to your setup. As well as that, it comes with a windscreen, which just stops a bit of the popping sounds and also background audio. It also comes with a stand, which I'll talk about later as well. The stand does look really good, but there are some disadvantages to using stands. And also on the top of the microphone, you've got a little display to tell you what the gain is on, or if you're on mute. So now moving on to the features, we've got a tap to mute button, which is in a really nice place. I've tested some microphones that have a tap to mute on the other side of the microphone, so when I sort of move my hand across it, sometimes I can accidentally mute it and I'll be sat there with that microphone on mute for ages, not realizing. It can be annoying, but this one is in a really nice place where it's out of the way. If you do want to mute it, it's there. It's actually quite hard to accidentally mute yourself. As well as that, it's got a knob for the gain of the microphone and the headset, so you just spin it around and then it will change the gain. As well, that goes with the display, so it'll show you how much gain you are on. However, the only thing I will say about these features that is a bit annoying is the fact that you can only use those things when you're connected with USB, because if you're connecting with XLR, you're connecting to an audio mixer which controls it and not the actual microphone, so the mute button won't work if you're using with XLR. And then for the RGB as well, it only works when you've got the USB connected, but what I do is I just connect both XLR and USB and use the XLR for the actual audio because it sounds better. You can also download the software for it, which I go into later in the video. It's free and it's really good. And then finally, it does come with a stand that looks really, really good. I think it looks amazing on a desk. However, if you are going to be streaming or gaming whilst using this microphone, I definitely recommend getting a boom arm, as with any microphone, because when you have a stand, you can hear keyboard noises. For example, now, I'm assuming you can hear that because every time you use a stand, things that are on the desk and you're pressing, you'll be able to hear through the microphone, which can be annoying. But for what I use it for, which is just for voiceovers, it works perfectly because I'm not really doing anything else on my desk, just speaking straight into it. Now moving on, I'm going to talk about some of the connections. So we've got USB-C, which is the obvious one. This is just plug and play into your PC. You don't need anything else, just USB from your PC to the microphone, and it works perfectly. Then we've got XLR, which obviously connects to an audio mixer, but you'll have to buy a mixer separately. There is a bundle they've got on their website, which is for I think $120, which I think is £100, with their own mixer and then this microphone as well, which will work perfectly together. And then there's also the connection for the headphones, so you just connect your headphones straight to the microphone and it will control the audio. But again, for me, I just use a mixer for that. And then also on the back of the actual microphone, you've got this thing for the RGB, so if you don't want to use the software, you can just press it and change the colors each time. So now, speaking of the software, it's free, it's on their website, it's very easy to use as well. You can control the gain for the microphone and also your headset as well, and some audio effects which will make it sound better. But for me, I just use OBS for my filters because it sounds better in my opinion. And as well as that, you can control the RGB, so you can control the brightness, which is really useful. If your room's dark and you don't want it too bright, then you can change it to like 20% and it'll be a lot less. But as well, obviously, if you want it really bright, then you can do that. However, one thing I will say about the RGB is, like, when I used it, when I press a color, it would just come on the microphone with a random color. I don't know what it was doing, but that's the only negative to the software that I noticed, is the RGB wasn't really showing the same as it was on the software, but the brightness and everything does work, which is really all you need it for. And then finally, we'll move on to the sound test. So I've already recorded this. Alright, so this is using the microphone without any filters. Now this might be really loud as well, and this is with a USB connection. And then this is the same, it's a microphone without any filters with an XLR connection. So hopefully that sounds good. Again, it might be very loud, but I don't know. Alright, so then this is using the microphone with a USB connection, and I've got some filters on it. I'll pop them on screen right now, what I've got. And I'll leave a link in the description to the video I actually watched to get all these filters. So this is with the USB connection. And then finally, this is what it sounds like with an XLR connection and with filters. So this is what it's going to sound the best. And this is what I've been using for the entire voiceover of this video. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out so much more than you think. In the description is a link to Maono's website and where you can buy this microphone for yourself. If you're looking to get into content creation or streaming or just have a gaming setup and you need a microphone for it, I definitely do recommend this microphone, especially for the price.